Okay, can we start?
Yes, sir.
So we will start with the secondary market. You can give a heading secondary market. So when we talk about secondary market, basically we are going to talk about stock exchange, but before stock exchange we will also talk about over the counter exchange. It was there earlier, over the counter. So we will talk about over the counter exchange. So just write over the counter exchange. It was earlier. Now everything is in computer, so auction process is actually happening, not over the counter transaction, and only small companies. Okay, so just write OTC. What is OTC? It is an organization. It is an organization which facilitate. It is an organization which facilitate buying and selling of shares of small companies. Buying and selling shares of small companies. Buying and selling shares of small companies. In this market, securities are traded over the counter of the exchange, over the counter of the exchange, on the basis of negotiation. On the basis of negotiation. Okay, so it was based on negotiation. Write one more line. Nowadays, OTC sale, nowadays over the counter sale, OTC sale has been replaced by auction system in OTCs. Auction system in OTCs. Okay, just write this OTCEIL, over the counter exchange India Limited. OTCEIL, over the counter exchange India Limited. It was established in 1990. It was established in 1990. It facilitates trade in securities of the companies. It facilitates trade in securities of the companies whose paid up capital is 30 lakh or more. So the paid up capital has to be 30 lakh or more. What is the largest OTC of the world? Largest OTC of the world? Nasdaq, US. Okay. So largest OTC of the world is Nasdaq. National Association of Securities Dealers Automated Quotation System. You can write if you want. National Association of Securities Dealers Automated Quotation System, Nasdaq. Okay. So nowadays it is considered as stock exchange only, because all OTCs now everything is auction because of computers. Okay. So before computers in stock exchange it was manual auction, but now even stock exchange everything is done by computers. Like I have told you in the first chapter, the demand curve will be drawn. The buyers will create the demand and the sellers will create the supply. So the equilibrium position will be find out. Okay, so this much shares quantity will be bought and sold at this particular price. So this is what actually happening in the stock exchange now through auction process. Okay, now write one more line. Manual auction was called open outcry system. Open outcry system. So this is through computers. So open outcry system means you will that is manual auction process, right? So that is why outcry system, open outcry system. So in the stock exchange, on the basis of what? On the basis of demand and supply, the price is fixed. So when we discuss about stock exchange, the equilibrium price will be fixed by the computers only on the basis of demand supply. So demand supply curve will be drawn. Based on that, the price will be fixed. The buyers will quote the amount. The sellers also will be quoting the amount at which they are going to sell. Based on that, the demand curve will be plotted, supply curve will be plotted, the equilibrium price will be taken, and at that price, that much quantity will be bought and sold if the sellers and buyers are available. Okay, right. The oldest stock exchange of India and Asia. What is that? BSE. Okay, Bombay Stock Exchange. Oldest in India and also Asia. Okay, the oldest in India and Asia, BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange, established in 1875. What was the earlier name of BSE? Native Share and Stock Brokers Association. You can write earlier name, Native Share and Stock Brokers Association. Okay, so actually more than 5,000 companies you can see in BSE. So more than 5,000 companies are actually listed in BSE, and this is the largest in any stock exchange in the world actually. So the maximum companies are listed in the, this is actually the largest. So in terms of numbers, okay, so otherwise we cannot say largest. In terms of volume, the actual criteria when we discuss about largest is what? Market capitalization. And I'm expecting that if you watched that video on demand supply, you might be clear with what is market capitalization, right? So largest means it is based on market capitalization. So market capitalization means we have discussed already that number of shares into prices, right? Price. So this is how you understand the market capitalization of the company. So market capitalization of this when we discuss about all companies will be taken into consideration. So in terms of market capitalization, it is not the largest. Okay, now write one concept: indices of BSE. Indices of BSE. First one, Sensex. There's a most sensitive index, okay? Most sensitive index, 30 companies are listed in this. So 30 companies, there are 30 different companies whose market capitalization is so high, the selling of the shares often occur, selling, buying, the buyers and sellers will be there for these 30 shares. Okay, and also market capitalization of those companies will be high, and companies will be from different sectors. 18 sectors, from 18 sectors companies are there listed in the Sensex. So the best 30 companies are listed on the basis of market capitalization, also representation of every sectors. Okay, like banking, automobile, pharmaceutical, every sector will be there. Okay, second, BSE 100. So here 100 companies will be there, 100 companies. Then BSE 200. So these are different indices. BSE 200. Then BankX. So it is based on share of banks only. So BankX. You can have sectoral indices also. This is BankX. This is the shares of banks will be taken. So different banks will be there in BankX. The different sectorial index will also be seen, like particular sectors. Okay, so here the performance of bank will be seen, like in case of Nifty we talk about later, that bank Nifty we will talk about. Similarly BankX. Okay, so particular sector will also be taken into consideration. Based on that also various indices will be there. So the performance of that particular sector will be analyzed over here. Okay, so at least one company will be there from 18 sectors here, and it is very broad based. Leading companies from each sectors will be taken into consideration. When we talk about leading company here, the main criteria is market capitalization. Okay, market capitalization, and also those companies, like when I'm talking about IT sector, TCS will come or Infosys will come, right? So these companies, the shares are should be bought and sold frequently. Like anytime buyers will be there, anytime sellers will be there. We call it as liquidity. Okay, so liquidity should be there. Secondly, market capitalization so high, and also from all the sectors, the leading companies have to be taken and for the index. Okay, now how will you write the index? This is an index, so it will be written like this: Sensex. You know how wholesale price index is written, consumer price index is written, right? So Sensex. So you will put a colon, right? 1978-79 equal to 100. So this is how it will start. So what is the base year? From here you can understand 78-79 is the base year, and this is a base value. Okay, and this is actually increasing. So the value is increasing over a period of time, it will increase. And now let's say if it is 30,000 or if it is 40,000, you can say how much increase is there, right? In case of inflation also, we have discussed almost the same concept. So exactly the same here, but in case of inflation, there will be revision in the base year. But in case of Sensex, there is no revision. Why there is no revision? If let's suppose I am revising, what will happen? Sensex, let's say 2004-5, I will have to start again from 100. So why we are not revising us? If let's suppose by 2003, the Sensex increased to let's say 30,000. Now immediately in 2004 you are revising. So revising means automatically it will come back to 100, base year and base value. So in the base year, base value will be 100. So from 30,000, 100, the people, general people, common people won't understand that this is because of base year revision and all. So people think that market crash, right? So that will create a lot of issues. So Sensex, that is the reason why we are not revising the base year, and it is not possible also. Because okay, so just write one line there. Index of a stock exchange. Index of a stock exchange is an index number. Index of a stock exchange is an index number which measures. So this measures change, right? So this is the index which measures change in market capitalization of selected companies. Selected companies. Okay, so Sensex change means what? It is the market capitalization of those 30 companies is what will be reflected in the change in Sensex. Now, will the selected companies will be permanently selected? This 30 company? No, it will change. It will keep on change within that sector. Whatever company is doing better, okay, that will be added. So the Sensex, the companies which are taken in Sensex will be updated always. Okay. So do you want to write what is market capitalization? I've already told you market capitalization is actually number of shares into prices. Okay. So market capitalization actually shows the market value of the company. So let's say TCS or Wipro, the share cost is let's say 300, okay, and let's say 1 lakh or 1 crore share is issued. So what does that mean? What is the market capitalization? 300 crore is the market capitalization. So this is actually the value of the company, market value of the company. I hope you understood this. So increase in market capitalization is desirable or not? It is very much desirable because that shows the strength in economy. Okay. Now let's say now the Sensex is 35,000. Okay, so it was 100, 35,000. So how much increase is there? What you can understand is if you would have invested 100 rupee in Sensex only, forget about the companies, forget about different stocks of different companies. In the Sensex, if you have invested 100 rupee in 1978-79, now it would have increased to 35,000. Okay, Sensex very safe, but if you would have invested in Sensex itself, it would have been 35. How much return is there? How many times? 350 times, right? 350 times return is there. Okay, or 350 times return from the invested amount that time in 1978-79. Or in terms of percentage, if you see, how much percentage? 350 times means factor of multiplication is 350, 349, 00. So this much percentage change will be there. 34,900 percentage change will be there. Okay. Now I hope you understood why the the value, why the base year is not revising. If it is revising, it will come back to 100 again. So that will be a big problem. Okay. In case of WPI, that problem is not there. For example, when we talk about some product, let's say TV, or let's talk about this phone, or let's talk about this marker. Okay, so when we talk about marker, let's say before it is 1 rupee, now let's say it is 25 rupee. Okay, so do you think the quality in these years is same or different? The quality will be entirely different. So here the price is increased, the quality is also actually increased. The quality is entirely different. Okay, so this problem is not there when it comes to market capitalization, because money or rupee is not qualitatively different. So you don't want to change the base year actually. And if you change base year, there is another issue also. The issue is, if you change the base year, you will have to go back to 100 again. 2004-5 I have to write, and I have to write from 100. So Sensex colon, this is what I need to write then. So this may not be acceptable to the people. People want to understand what is base year, what is base value, etc. Okay, so the market sentiment will be drastically affected if you try to revise it. That's why we are not going to change it. Okay, now which one is better, Sensex or BSE 200? Which one is better? Which one is better? We have discussed about different indices. BSE will be better because 200 companies are there. When the sample size is more, it will be much better. But why always Sensex is taken? Just because it is easy to calculate the market capitalization of 30 companies. Here you need to calculate 200 companies. So there may be problem with data, unavailability, calculation issues. Okay. So, and also this condition is there, bought and sold often, every day, liquidity should be there. So all these are the condition, and that's why Sensex is taken, 30 companies. In fact, this is better to understand the performance of the economy. This would be much better because more the sample size, better will be the understanding. Okay, what is the headquarter? Mumbai. So that's about Sensex. Are we done? Any issues here? Second one, NSE, National Stock Exchange. National Stock Exchange. It was established in 1992 by IDBI and other public sector financial institutions. By IDBI and other public sector financial institutions. It became operational in 1994. It became operational in 1994. Okay, just write one more line. It was established as the most modern stock exchange. Established as the most modern stock exchange of the country, as it adopted international best practices. As it adopted international best practices. Okay, so around 2000 companies or more than that, 2000 companies actually listed over there. Headquarter is actually again in Mumbai. So when we talk about indices, Nifty 50, Nifty 50. So here 50 companies will be there. Nifty 50. First one. Second one, Nifty Junior. Nifty Junior. What is this Nifty Junior? Small companies. Okay. So small companies. Then NSE 200. So different indices are there. You don't want to go in depth of it. What you need to know is these are index number which used to measure change. So Nifty, when we talk about the index number, we will write like this: Nifty 1995, which is the base year, equal to, tell me what will be here, equal to, equal to
something is 100.
Yeah, normally we will write 100, right? But when it, because WPI will write 100, everywhere we have seen that base year is this, base year and base value will be 100. But in case of Nifty, the base value was not 100, it was 1000. Only in case of Nifty. Otherwise you won't see this. Okay, the reason why it is 1000, why not it is 100? Okay,
was it started after around 10 to 12 years after BSc.
Yeah, the reason is actually by this time already Sensex was around 4,000 at that time. Okay, so if you start Nifty at 100, okay, now you know what is a Nifty value, it's around 11,000. Okay, Nifty is 11,000. So if it would have started at 100, it would have been how much? 1100 only. So Sensex is around 35,000. So this will be just like 1100. So that is the reason why only in case of Nifty the base value is actually 1000. So now it is 11,000. Okay, so it was not started from 100 because Sensex was already 4,000. So it will affect the market sentiment, psychological reason, just for psychological reason. Anyway, these are measuring the changes only. So 1000 was the base value when it is started. Others are not that important because there are many small stock exchanges, around 15-16 stock exchanges are there, and SEBI is planning to bring down because Delhi Stock Exchange, different stock exchanges are there. Even people in Delhi also, for them it is better to trade in NSE or BSE. So actually enough transactions and volume etc. is not happening in the small stock exchanges, so SEBI is bringing it down. Maybe you can write MCX Stock Exchange, Metropolitan Stock Exchange. MCX Stock Exchange, renamed as Metropolitan Stock Exchange. It was established in 2008 but granted license in 2012. Okay, so when it was established in 2008, actually SEBI allowed to deal only in currency futures. Currency futures. See, futures are basically to prevent the volatility in the market. Futures and options. I will discuss that. That is derivatives. Okay, under the section of derivatives, I will discuss about futures, options, call option, put option. Everything we will discuss. But let's not get into this discussion now. Just understand 2008 it was only in currency futures, but 2012 onwards a stock exchange. Okay. Now largest one, if you see, tell me.
The mutual fund, can mutual fund invest in both BSE and NSE?
Yes. Even individual also, anywhere you can invest. Stock exchange, both are same company. It all depends on the company. Reliance will be, in BSE as well as in NSE also. The companies will be listed in anywhere. Now you might be buying from here, you can sell from here, sell here also, not a problem.
Okay, with the same corpus.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, it's all about the corpus. The corpus they are investing. No, they can invest anywhere. Ultimately, they are investing in the fundamentally strong companies. Okay.
Okay.
So largest now is actually NSE in terms of number and volume of transaction, because everybody is now making the transaction through NSE. I've told you already, it is the most modern stock exchange. So transactions are mostly happening through NSE. Okay. So if you see number of transaction, NSE in the top 5 in the world, it will come in the top 5 in the world in terms of transaction. These data are not important in terms of volume. In terms of volume, it will come in top 10 in the world. Okay, so which one is the highest? New York Stock Exchange is the highest in terms of transactions. Then Nasdaq is number 2. Okay, then like that it will go. In terms of transaction, NSE is the third one. New York Stock Exchange, Nasdaq, NSE. Not much important. Just to have some idea. Okay. Now we will discuss about SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. So I've talked about the SEBI before also when we discussed about mutual funds regulated by SEBI, and when we discussed about ULIPs also I have referred this. There was a tussle between SEBI and IRDA in the context of regulating ULIPs, because ULIPs is having both components, right? Mutual fund component is there, insurance component is there. So insurance is regulated by IRDA and mutual funds are regulated by SEBI. So there was an issue, and finally ULIPs was considered as a life insurance with some units are given. So it would be regulated by the insurance companies. So let's study about SEBI here. Yeah, right, you can write few important points. It was established in 1988 as a non-statutory body. When it was established, non-statutory body, it was granted statutory status in 1992. What do you mean by statutory status? What is it?
Pass through act.
Yeah.
Act.
Is if it is coming through an act, right? So SEBI
Yes.
SEBI Act 1992. So that is what statutory means. Statutory status means pass through an act. So established in 1988, 92, the SEBI. Yeah, tell me. SEBI Act 1992. Basically, this after this Harshad Mehta scam. Okay, that's not important anyway for you. Functions of SEBI. First one, to regulate capital market. To regulate capital market. So when we talk about capital market, what about primary market? Both will come, no? Primary and secondary both will come. Yesterday we talked about primary market, which involve IPO, FPO, rights issue, everything will come here, right? Everything will come. So to regulate capital market, in bracket you can write primary and secondary. In case of IPO, I have told you red herring prospectus, etc. Right? All these red herring prospects are given to SEBI only, and based on that only you are allowed to issue IPO. And when we discussed about Sahara case also, I have told you when they have given the prospectus to SEBI for issuing IPO for the new company, they were caught like that. So both primary and secondary, not only stock exchange. Okay, so second point, so it will regulate the capital market, both primary and secondary. Initially only stock exchanges, but now both. Who will regulate the money market? Money market?
RBI.
RBI. Okay. So if you want, you can write in bracket money market by RBI. I am expecting that you know. Next point, to register and regulate all intermediaries in stock exchanges, like share brokers, underwriters, mutual funds, etc. Second point, to register and regulate all intermediaries in stock exchanges. Register and regulate all intermediaries in stock exchanges, like all these share brokers, underwriters, mutual funds, etc. Next you can write to check malpractices in stock exchange.